Hello guys, welcome back to Faith Star. I'm your host Donnie Reiser, and I have a very special guest today. Not that all my guests aren't special. She is a TV personality, an actress, a model, a singer, rapper, maybe, I'm not sure. But
I've got bars.
she got bars, you can hear her, right? She's ready. Love Island star season 1. And she also earned herself a degree in Africana Studies. Yeah, impressive, right? Let's welcome Alana Morrison.
Yay! Hi.
How you doing, Alana?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great,
I'm good.
great.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Just for those actually that don't know, which is probably most people, we met on set about a week and a half ago.
Yes.
We were on set for Tiffany & Co.
Yes.
Not dropping any names or anything. And we started talking, about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we started talking about God.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got to get you on the show.
And here we are.
And here we are, right?
A week later.
A week later.
Yes.
It's gone quick, hasn't it? It's gone quick.
Yes.
But we had a lot talked about, a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
In the industry, So, but I wanted to start off with actually getting to know a little bit about you and your childhood. Because we didn't get to talk about that stuff. And maybe you can share some of that with, the people that are watching. Where'd you grow up in your childhood?
Okay. Where did I grow up? So I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. My family's from Jamaica. Yeah, so my mom and dad, my mom's from the US, but her parents are from Jamaica. My dad was born in Jamaica, came here, lives in Jamaica currently. And yeah, my childhood was fun. I feel like I was allowed the freedom to explore the things that I cared about. I don't remember a time where I didn't say I wanted to entertain and I wanted to make people laugh. And I always felt like there was room for it in whichever environments that I was in. It was supportive. And I think even in moments where I don't want to say it wasn't supportive, there were moments they weren't support. I just don't think I even cared to notice if the support was there. I just did what I wanted to do. And in terms of the things I cared about and would do. So I was always doing talent shows and cracking jokes. At times I was the class clown, but I was smart. So it's it was a good balance where if you can make the class laugh and make the teacher laugh, it works.
Absolutely.
You could get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just knowing your audience.
Well, actually, I couldn't get away with it. I was just would be the clown, but I'd get caught. So,
no.
So you were just the smart
you
clown.
make sure that the teacher laughs with you, and then it's good. So
that's the key.
There was that.
But you say Jamaica, actually, just on the subject of the current state of affairs in Jamaica. So your family's good?
Yes,
hopefully?
I spoke to my dad. He's fine, and everything's good. It's I know the Wi-Fi is down, the electricity, but I have been able to reach my family members, and they're okay. Good. But it is bad out there, and especially when areas that get hit, like Negro. My family and Kingston, my dad's in Kingston, but in Negro, it got hit rough too, and that's where I spent a lot of time as a kid, going back and forth. So.
Oh, I see. So I was actually out there. I don't know if we spoke about that when we met, but I was in Jamaica I think it's a month and a half ago.
Okay.
2 months ago.
Wow, yeah.
Recent. It's very recent. In where was I? It's not Kingston. It's the other side.
Montego Bay.
Montego Bay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Amazing place.
Yeah.
Not to take you off the subject but the people, they have depending, it doesn't matter what working class you are, there's a mutual respect between the community. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was welcoming, but I did stand out like a sore thumb. I was trying to blend in wearing Jamaican clothes and all that stuff, but I stood out like a sore thumb. But anyway, I'm glad your family is safe and everything. And so I want to start off with Love Island. I want to go into that. I know season 1. Yeah. So that was the first season in the US.
Yes.
Because I got some friends that did it in the UK.
Oh, wow.
So it was, do you know what? I'm going to call him out. Jamie Jewett. If you watch him, mate, he was on Love Island. I don't know what season. And Paul Knops, my friend Paul Knops, they did it. They did pretty well. But I didn't get to talk to them too much about the show. It's been years since. So in America, I think it came out a few years
2019. Season 1 was in 2019. Yeah,
2019. Wow. So what was that experience like?
It's
a broad question to answer.
Yeah,
right?
and like I tend to tell people that it's like adult camp. It's kind of like how we're hanging out talking now, and then this time just no headphones, no mic, and we're just hanging out, and then we step out into the world and they're like, oh my gosh, we saw you hanging out and talking. Oh, we love you. Type of situation. If that is your read and it comes off that way, or people connect with you how they do, but like you just still feel like yourself. You're just like, I was just going through a regular experience. It's different than working on set where you came and did a job. There, you're literally just living, and then you come out and realize that like people experience what you were experiencing too, or like they were the fly on the wall to what you were experiencing, and whatever they resonated with, or whatever was edited, like what they were able to see, because obviously they don't capture everything that happens overall, like over the entire day, but whatever that they've seen, they've connected with or not connected with, or so it's just like, oh wow, I feel like I didn't really do anything crazy, but yet there's people who are now aware of me.
Right. What made you apply?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't apply?
So this is what happened. It was a very interesting story of my experience of Love Island. Like, I really do appreciate my Love Island experience. Beyond just like the fact that I was able to go on and be on and meet the people that I did and have the opportunities to be on there, as well as the opportunities that came after. But it was what the entire experience represented overall. So during that time, or right before I got on Love Island, I was making music for like a few years. I always wrote songs and stuff like that, but I officially started working with a production company around like 17. So I was
You're still doing that now, right? The music.
I still make music now.
I see something recent.
Yes. I'm still involved. Yeah, I'm still involved in music, but I was like 17 to around 21. I was working with a music company, like a production company. And I learned a lot there, but it started to become an environment that I knew wasn't the best for me. Probably wasn't the safest for me emotionally overall. Just so much I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. However, like I stayed and dealt with a lot because I really wanted my music. I didn't want to lose the music that I spent years for. Like I sacrificed a lot for it, time, energy. And when I say time, I'm time that you can't get back, right. I have siblings. I wasn't like, they were little, and I physically was in the state if I wasn't in college at the time. Even when I was like at home, I would leave and be at the studio for hours, 7 hours, 10 hours. I would sleep at the studio sometimes, because I was giving so much of myself to it. So I had sacrificed a lot. And around the time, I remember it just got really bad. And ultimately, I ended up leaving the studio. And I remember when I left this, y'all never forget it. When I was leaving the studio, I had had my bags, because I had a bag pack. And because literally it was a point where I was living at the studio to I'm giving myself to all of this. Wow. And so I got my bags packed. I'm walking out the studio, and the producer goes, he's like, you're never going to make it. Like, just stay in school, kid. Like, you're never going to make it. And I'm like,
are you one of those people that you don't like to hear those things, but those things were like, okay, I'm going to show you something. Like, it's going to push you to do better. Are you one of those people?
I am one of those people, but I think at that time, for everything that I had went through, I had felt so defeated that it was just like, wow. I just was just like, what do you, like, because I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't, where do I go from here? This is all I know. And I had so many personal issues happening at that time where it was just this felt like all I had. So it just came to that point where you really realize oh my gosh, I think I hit bottom. Yeah. Now what? I always try and have backup plan this, all these ideas, but there was no plan. It was just, all I know is I can't stay here. Something in my chest was just you can't stay here. It will never get better. Right. You got to go. And I remember when I left and he said that, I I remember going home. So I had my bag packed and I'm smelling like oil because in the studio there was a furnace. So my bag, my suitcase was near the furnace. My clothes smelled like oil. I'm smelling like oil.
Wow,
my family kept telling me like, come home. I'm like, but I need my music. They're like, you smell like oil. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, not the good oil.
Right, not even the good. No, it wasn't good oil. Yeah. It was smelling like if you lit a match next to me, we were gonna explode.
Worked in a gasoline shop. Yeah, that kind of oil. Yeah.
Yes, that kind of oil. Yeah. And I just remember like, it's funny now, but it's not funny in the moment. So I'm just there smelling like oil. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what I do? So I get my bag, I go home, and I'm in my grandma's room, and I'm just like on her floor crying because I remember I cried to my family, and they're just like, I'm so sorry. Like I know how much your music meant to you. Truly, like I'm so sorry that like they're taking the music. And then it also came to a point where I was getting phone calls maybe like a day later or so, where I have friends like, yo, I'm trying to listen to your music. Because at this point, I was making music and performing on campus.
Gotcha.
So I was building like a name for myself. I was opening up for the acts that were coming on campus. I was doing my own shows. I did performances and like a EP party where people came out and like, it was like in a barn style and it was like flowing outside the barn, like things that I really questioned, like could it happen for me? And I was watching it come alive. And then literally you realize like you're walking away from all of it. The things that make you feel like maybe like at the moments where you don't think like, maybe I'm not enough. But those moments that remind you like, no, maybe you are, like put your chin up,
Almost like you're betraying that work ethic that you put in. All that sacrifice. It's like you're betraying that sacrifice you made.
Right. And it's like,
I know that feeling.
For what? Like, and it's like, for what? Because what is the other option? I don't know because it's nothing else lined up. And this is what I've given myself to for like 4 years, 3-4 years. So I remember I'm on the floor and I'm crying and I'm like, and I remember there was a period where my friends were like reaching out to me and they're like, yo, I can't find your music. So they pulled the music down. At the time, my understanding of music is just go in there and make it.
Right.
I didn't know about like putting your music up on Spotify, how to even get it. That was all them.
Because you're the artist. Like we have to learn about that stuff.
So literally I'm finding out my music's pulled, all this stuff that I work for gone. I'm crying. I remember I'm talking to my mom about it. My mom was like, maybe I can like buy your music back. Let me just see how much they're, talking for the music. I wrote my lyrics at the time for those songs. I write my lyrics in general, but like I wrote my lyrics, so I was like, okay, maybe I could have the songs, but then he's like, all the, like the mix and mastering, the beats, all that's mine. So no. So if you want them, you're gonna pay, I think at the time it was like $3,000 or more. Wow. And I said it to my mom, and my mom was like, I don't know if I could buy that music back right now for the music. She's like, you sure you can't just take the words and do them on another beat? And I'm like, but it's not the same. Like, and she's like, I don't know about getting you that music back. However, like things will be okay. I feel
like that's like, I don't know, your mama is that how she kind of talks as well? Was that impression?
In a way,
that was quite real.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
It probably she said it in a funnier way. She didn't mean to be, but it was just like
she was serious.
She was so serious. She was like, "Oh no, I got you. I'll get it back in the sheet." We're all on the phone, and she's got the call. And then when they said like 3,000, she was like, "Yeah, you're not about to get that music back, but it's okay." I was like, "Oh, all hope is gone." So I remember everyone like left the room, and I'm on the floor crying. This is why Love Island is important to me. To get back to that is because I remember I cried. I was like on the floor crying and I felt rock bottom. I was like, I have nothing. And I just was like, God. And that's interesting because I grew up in the church. But I think I think that was the moment that like that Love Island experience was connected to me really seeing what does it mean when you like really are willing to give something you really care about to God. And see what he does with it. And to see what that could turn into. And I remember just being so rock bottom, I have nothing left. So you shouldn't do this. But I remember I was on the ground and I was like, listen, if you're real, like really real, like they say you are, I'll give you 1 year. And I'll do my part. Like I'll cut out all the nonsense that I was like in and doing and things I was doing and ways I was moving. And and I will show up. Like, whatever idea I see of myself in my head, to the best ability I can, if that means getting up and like showing up. Because I remember I sacrificed so much. When I say I sacrificed so much, I mean like I was supposed to go to Cape Town for school while I was in school as a study abroad program. Instead, I went to Wesleyan, which was the best thing to happen to me in terms of like meeting my friends I'm super close with and who support me in my journey now musically. But like literally I gave up going away off to school to get paid for free, you know, to go to Wesleyan and stay in Connecticut so that I can be closer to the music studio. And I remember like giving up a lot. And so I was like, I'm about to go to this new school. Only reason I'm going to the school is because I was supposed to make music. Music gone. So I'm at this new school, don't got nothing. All I had left was the MP3s of the song that I so happened to have because I downloaded it onto my laptop. If I didn't have those MP3s, I would have had no access to none of my music at all.
Yeah, that would suck.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember just being like, listen, I'm going to this new school. I have nothing. I give you 1 year. I'm going to show up and be the best version of myself that I possibly can.
This is what you're saying to God at this time.
Literally. And I was like, and I will give you 1 year. And I was just like, after that, I'm for the streets. I'm for the neighbors. I'm for whatever I'm like, literally. And I was like, you shouldn't do that. But at that point, I was like, if you're really about to do something, do something. And if you're not, I mean, you can't say I didn't try. You can't say I didn't do my part. So you're left to do your part. And I said it just like that because I was like, I don't care. Like, do something because I have nothing.
Right.
And so I really meant it though. And I did my part. So the crazy thing about that was I moved to the school. So I was in the school for a semester.
So this is like your process of doing your part.
Yeah, doing my part.
Like a promise you were saying to God, I'll do this part.
Yes.
And so you're going to tell us like, this is what that part was?
So this was the part. The part was I was doing my devotionals and really getting up, like any version of myself that I imagined, like get up and do it. Like I remember at my other college, I would only get cute on the weekends because it's party weekend, right?
Yeah, of course.
But this time I was like, no, if you tell yourself you're this thing, you're pulling up as your best. I was getting up 6 a.m. I didn't like to get up at 6 a.m. But I was getting up at 6 a.m. Don't know how I did it because I'm struggling to do it now. But like 6 a.m. I would put on like my big hair. I had like this big wig. It was like curly. And I had lashes. I'm putting on lashes every single day. That is a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Every single day. Full glam makeup, put my little fits on. It is winter time because this happened in like January, like February, going into the spring semester.
Like 2018.
So, so around like it was like January, February, around that time. Right. So I'm putting my little fits, got my little crops, it is cold outside. It is cold outside. I don't care. I'm still showing up.
Good. That's what matters, right?
I'm making sure I look good. I'm making sure that no one knows me on the campus. So, they're gonna know me in terms of when you see me. Hi, I'm Alana. Nice to meet you. I feel extremely awkward walking up to these people. I don't know these people. They don't know me. Hi, I'm da-da-da. In my mind, I'm like, you're absolutely crazy. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. You're going to do everything that you see this version of yourself doing. Nice. You're going to show up. I don't care if you feel uncomfortable. I don't care if you think you don't have what you need. Like, you have everything that you need because what did you say you were going to do? Your part.
Right.
And he going to do his.
You're going to do his always.
And keep in mind, I didn't care what the circumstances were. They threw me in this house. Funny, so the house was the Lighthouse. I guess it used to be, it either was or it used to be like their like Christian house or something like that.
Oh, this was the ministry?
Sorry. On the campus.
On the campus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they threw me in a random house because I had one of like the last few beds on the campus. And the house was all like leaning. It was not even a good situation. So I'm still getting up trying to get cute, even though circumstances is just, like the house smelled like hamster. I had some, I'm telling you, I had a cousin come visit. She was like, what's that smell?
You went from oil to hamster.
Right. Yeah, so I'm going from, it's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade, but it went from smelling like oil to smelling like hamster. Well, I wasn't smelling like hamster, but the house smelled like hamster. I sprayed down.
That made you smell like hamster on your clothes and stuff like that.
No, I wasn't smelling like hamster on campus. No, I was spraying it down. I didn't smell like hamster.
Make that clear.
Right, I didn't.
Gotcha.
But the house smelled like hamster. It was leaning. There was like so many people. There was like 2 bathrooms. A lot of people in the house. There was this one kid who would like consistently, it was disgusting.
There's always one.
He would get sick and throw up in the bathroom.
Oh, physically sick.
Physically sick. Throw up in the bathroom. And I'm talking on the sink. In the sink.
Tell me.
On the walls,
at least
in the
clear it up.
bathroom. I mean, he would, but I didn't trust him to properly clean, right?
Yeah.
Because you missed the spot. Like,
Standards.
I'm in there.
We have different standards.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you walk in the bathroom. I want to go brush my teeth. Oh, what is that stain? Oh, my God. Where am I? It was
nasty.
It was nasty.
Yeah,
it was.
nasty.
I was like, are you serious? I'm like, God, what's going on? And this was early on. Like, I'm just like, is this my life now?
So you're in the trenches a little bit.
I'm in the trenches.
Yeah.
The bookshelves were like leaning, the dresser leaning, so they stuffing cardboard to hold it up to level it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's real.
Yes. I'm like, what is going on in here? I'm having to walk like a mile to get to my classes. Was it a mile? It was a mile, at least half a mile.
It's a long
It was a walk. I'm used to a campus that everything was maybe like, back in Maine, my campus was like everything was like 2-minute walk away.
Yeah.
If that.
That's how they usually design.
I'm walking like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yep.
You
15-minute mile walk, yeah.
Right. I'm not used to that. You know, I wasn't used to it. So to me, I was in the trenches. Right. So I'm like, still show up, be your best self. I kid you not. But I kept doing that until it literally became a way of being. I promise you, it was 9 days later. And I remember also making a diary entry, like confessing a lot of stuff. Just like, this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is like where I'm at.
It's powerful,
and
right?
it was one of the most honest journal entries of like where I was at. And I was like, listen, I'm going to leave this to you to do something with it. Don't know what. And I just remember getting up in the morning, getting ready, and also like affirming to myself, just like, you're a star, you're this, you're like, what does that look like? What does that mean? I don't know, but I'm just trying to show up as what that means, you know? So if there's opportunities to perform, I'm going to try and take them and ask, even when I'm scared too. I don't know these people. They don't know me. Like,
sometimes that's just the most important part.
Just having that
You're ready,
confidence.
but you just need to show up.
Right.
Right.
And just keep trying to show up. I kid you not. So I'm doing all that. It came to a point where, and this is where Love Island kicks in, where I started to try and like do that even on my like social medias. I was nervous on social media because of posting, because I know there was one girl who would post online at my old campus and people would be like, oh, she's a catfish. And I'm like, oh gosh, what if I start posting now that I got my glam on? They're gonna be like, oh, this girl's a catfish. Because when I was on my old campus, I only got cute on the weekends. Like, They knew me for wearing big old sweatpants, my blue sweatpants. They're like, Alana, get rid of them. And I'm like, I won't. I'll show up to class with my hat on, my coat on. They're like, you can remove your coat. I'm like, no, I'll participate in everything, but I'm looking crazy. You don't know what I look like underneath the clothes. Like
comfortable
nothing.
And crazy. Yeah.
Yes, I was comfortable and crazy, but this time I'm like trying to like embody something else.
Right. Present yourself.
Right. Yeah. And so I was like, even to social media, I was like, no, like I can't post myself. I can't. And I was like, no, you got everything you need. Then I was like,
this is before that Love Island moment.
Yep, before Love. This is all before Love Island. Then I was like, you can't post, like your backgrounds look crazy. Remember, I'm in the hamster house.
That's right.
And the stuff is leaning. The books case is leaning, everything. But I was like, I can't look at the inside of the house. It doesn't look cool. It don't matter. You got everything you need. What did you say? You was going to do your part. He do his part.
That's right.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that really looks like for real. I'm just trying things. I kid you not. 9 days later after that journal entry and me like showing up for real, 9 days later, you asked me how. Days. And I also add this, which is very interesting, is like I had learned about the story of the people in wilderness for like 40 years.
Yep.
But I think the intent though was for them to be there only like 11 days, right?
It was meant to be 4 days.
4?
Yeah.
My goodness. Even less.
4 days and it ended up being 40 days.
I'll be telling people 11 days. Sorry, y'all.
From disobedience.
Right.
From not keeping God's promise.
Literally. It took, I kid you not. I had went back in to see the journal entry because I did it digitally. And I went back and looked at the DM I received from a producer. One of them same photos that I said don't post because you don't have the right background. I guess I must have posted a hashtag or whatever I did. I posted one of those photos and they found me through those same photos that I thought don't post because you don't have the proper background. Oh, don't post because people are going to call you a catfish.
Yeah.
Don't post because all the things I tried to like to kind of go back into my old way of being. But I was like, nah, do it. You said you was going to do your part. Keep going.
And there was no hashtag Love Island or any of this stuff.
I didn't know what Love Island was.
Didn't even know what it was.
Because it was a UK show. I didn't know. I'm in the US.
Right.
So literally, literally, 9 days later after that post, I get a random DM from a producer, and he's like, "Hey, we got this new show we're working on. It's called Love Island. Like, would you like to be on it? Like, or do an interview?" And I was like, "Y'all are playing." And I was just like, "Oh, they're just gonna try and kidnap me. This is a good one though. I almost fell for it." And they're like, "No, take the interview." And I'm like, "You sure?" And they're like, "No, take the interview. Like, just be willing to meet one of our casting producers." And I was like, "All right, cool." So then we hopped on a Zoom, and she asked me questions about my life, my date, like, and my dating life, everything. And I told her the most embarrassing thing, the truth of what was going on, like, and how
the process, like the truth as in what you did
the
to
truth
get to
of
this moment.
Not even of just what I did and being at Wesleyan and like becoming the new person. No, the truth of the answer of like what was going on in my dating life at the time, and like how, like, who I was, how I was, what was I experiencing. Like, I was in Maine at a predominantly white institution.
Yeah.
That was different, as well as I was like 18 and I had just had my first kiss in college and all that type of stuff. So I was new to college, and just imagine starting off there.
Then going into this show.
But even beyond the show, just starting off life there, being very sheltered, to then getting thrown into life where you're hours away from your family. You're like, it's, you get what I'm saying? Like, so much had happened. And it was just like
throwing a hen in with the wolves.
Yes, literally. Yeah. And then like having to really be willing to share your story of like, this is what it's like. No, I have ideas on who I thought I would be and what I thought it would be like, to find out it's nothing like that at all, and being able to laugh about it and talk about it and not be embarrassed about it. And I said the God honest truth to her, and she laughed through the process. She felt with me through the process, and by the end of the process, she was like, I really hope you make it. And maybe like a few weeks later, she was like, we're going to fly you to LA to meet with the executives. Just and then I told them the same exact story, the same things that embarrassed me. The point of it is, it's my story, my actual story, like my testimony in itself of just like all the things that you're scared of, all the things you're embarrassed of sharing because you think it's moments that you feel like unworthy. I shared the moments that I felt very unworthy and I felt really small, but like the humor in it and all those things. And that was literally, I kid you not, maybe like 6 months later after that, I get a random call. So you're one of the original Islanders.
Main cast. Straight
Just
in.
like that. I had 2 interviews. One, talking to her. Second, when I got flown out to meet execs. Third is you got it.
Yeah.
9 days after.
Just like that.
Just doing that. 9 days.
And,
and staying in that.
In that moment of confirmation. Meaning confirmation physically, right? Like you got the news. You're going on. The reality's kicking in. And then there's confirmation that God was like, see, I'm giving you an opportunity. See, like would you say that moment was like God saying, told you? Or did you feel different to that? Did you feel like, oh, maybe this isn't God. Maybe it is God.
When I got off the interview, I called my mom and I was like, I'm on the show. This is God. I knew it. I knew I was on it. I never doubted it. When they called me, and it sounds crazy, I've never said this, but like when they called me and told me I got it, I remember one of the producers, she said another person was on the phone like screaming like, ah, and I was just quiet. I didn't really say much at first. And then afterwards I felt like, in a way, not performative of, oh my gosh, but like I felt so calm about it because you couldn't tell me. I knew it was mine from the first call. I was like, I don't care. Like, there's no way that this could happen. Like, I remember what I said. I remember my prayer and I remembered it. Like, and I know what I'm doing right now. Like, literally, you couldn't tell me it wasn't mine. So even down to when they called me, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm on the show. I was like, you couldn't have told me. I knew this was mine from day one. I was like, thank you. Yeah. Like, I was expecting no other call but that call because I knew it was mine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so from that moment, you're in the show, you're experiencing it. Now, I've done a few reality shows myself, not quite to the extent of you, but through my experiences, I won't say what they are either. I learned that there's a lot of sacrifices involved in terms of maintaining your integrity, right? For what you're comfortable with and for what you're willing to almost sacrifice for the sake of maybe fame, or for the sake of getting the views, for staying part of the main cast, for staying in the loop, for being portrayed a certain way. You're worried about the public eye. So was all these things going through your head during the show as well? Did you experience some of these things? Maybe you can't talk about some of the stuff either.
Oh, no, it's not even. No.
Or did you realize after?
I think what I think of when I think of that, the biggest regret I had was I didn't stick to looking out for myself in my best interest. I got caught up in like wanting, like I'm seeing other like relationships and it looks like they're budding in a certain way. So you see what people are having. You're like, wait, but I want that too. So you if you look, you will find. And I think I found things to find to like about the person that I was like coupled up with to make me like stay, to not venture out, to not get uncomfortable again.
Okay.
Everything that I think was for me is in walking in the direction of you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But instead of doing that, there were moments that like I'm like, but maybe this person might feel if I say this. No, you're too busy focused on what other people have that you're like, well, but I need to be coupled up and I need to be in something like strong. So you're willing to find strength in something that's falling apart. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
And I think if anything, I wouldn't necessarily say like producers or anything like compromised me. I think I kind of like compromise like myself in certain ways.
Right, because you have the control of saying yes or no, right?
Yeah,
So the producers can present something to you, but you have the choice to say yes or no. Right?
Yes.
So that was pretty much, is that what you're saying in terms of they didn't really kind of manipulate certain situations, or because from my experiences was like, this is a reality show, right? So people that are watching a reality show think it's real life. But what's the chances are you walk down a street or you walk into a certain room or something, then there's cameras set up and then there's a scenario. You have certain scenarios set up, right? But then within that scenario, it's almost like improvisation within the person you are, because it's Alana on this reality show. It's Donnie on a reality show. It's you. Yeah, knowing you for that person you are, right?
Yeah.
So then within that situation, was it still like, was it more kind of improvised, or this is the story we're going to give you in this situation, in this room, in this diner, in this bar example?
Yeah.
Then you go from there. Did they give you like things to go off from that? Or was it pretty much just like free flow?
It was free flow. I was living. I was being myself.
Literally being yourself.
So it was like, I got there by being myself. So I was like, I'm just going to be myself while I was in it. And then I think the hiccup came when, not that I stopped being myself, but I stopped like choosing in my best interest. I think I saw moments or have felt moments where I was like, I ain't really feeling this. This not feeling really aligned with me. And in terms of like, even like my partnership.
Right.
But
with the other
with the
cast.
person I was like coupled up with, like, and there were moments I was like, this might not feel the most aligned, but then you're too busy looking at what's happening around you. Like, oh, well, that couple looks kind of strong and those people are getting along. So then, you know what? Let me look. If you look, you're fine. So I'm looking for reasons to like that person. I'm looking for reasons to stay. And so you do. But then now that does feel like it's going outside of the energy that I was moving with to even get here. Because to get here, I was uncomfortable. It wasn't comfortable to get up at 6 a.m. and show up and say, well, this is who I want to be and what the life I want to get. And this is the promise I said, like, God, I'll do my part. This is me doing my part by aligning with things I feel like I deserve. Right. But now, do you feel like you do? You clearly feel like you don't deserve that. So why are you keep trying to align with it? Why are you keep trying to find reasons to stay? Why are you keep... And there was a point where it was like the recoupling. And the producers, they did speak to me. They were like, you have your choice, and there's a chance you're gonna have to choose the person you're coupled up with, or you're gonna have to choose someone else. And I remember thinking, they were like, but you're seeing things like they're like, there are some things you're noticing, like about this person that you're not liking, because of course I'll say things in the confessional, or like things you're not happy with, and then they're like, oh, there's another option. I mean, and that person, like, you know, you could go abroad on dates. That person never asked me to go like on a date, so I'm like, that person's not even really interested for real. So like, why would I just throw away that? But I guess like in the hut or whatever, they're like, oh, he was like, she's beautiful. Like, okay, right. Cool. There's a lot of beautiful people here. So what is that? You know, so I, instead of being willing to take that picture, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ain't too different. Yeah. Be willing to take that picture. Be willing to like, to run into like the discomfort that might, but it's better than what you know. And what you know is you're not aligned. Like, you don't feel like you're really actually appreciated as a person. You don't feel like this is where you're supposed to be. I remember one time I was like, oh, I like reading books. And the person responded like, ew. And I was like, what you mean, ew? Like a book? Like, okay, all right now. You know, like, you know when you don't, like, you know when it's not aligned. Right. And I wouldn't.
Just keep going with it for a little bit.
I'm too busy staring and seeing what other people are doing. Gotcha. This time, it's not no different than what if I did say, you know what, maybe let me not post the pictures because they would call me a catfish.
Right. It brings back to that.
Yeah, I started to get out of, I stopped doing my part.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then that resulted in me like, when it was time to do the recoupling on the opposite end, because I ended up going with the person who I knew I wasn't supposed to really go with internally, I felt, but I still went with them out of comfort. And then when it was time to like, for them to do the picking and choosing, I got sent home like this. And that was the opportunity. And to me, it broke me. Like, I was crying on TV and people think, oh, look, she's so brokenhearted. But it was more than just crying because somebody didn't choose you. It's because this meant so much more to me than just like, oh, being on TV and like, and finding love. Like, this was me like going into a new reality, like finding a new life, like going through a different spiritual kind of situation and running from everything that I thought and I saw myself breaking free from. I kind of like threw myself back in it by not doing my part. And I knew it was my fault, but also like, it also still hurts because you wanted to believe in someone than like a promise you were given already.
Of course. And like at this point, so you've gone through the show, right?
Yeah.
Like reflecting on it immediately after, is it something that you're definitely glad you did?
100%.
100%, right?
1000%.
And from that, I'm guessing a lot of opportunities came from that.
Yes.
Quite immediately after.
Yeah.
Right.
And even like things that, like, that's also I think when something's from God, like it will always be fruitful. That's what I like to think. I mean, it's helped me in so many different areas in like my music career. It's helped me in like, even when I went back and worked like a corporate job, it even helped in that case too. You get what I'm saying? Like it helped in so many ways that it was just like, and I think I still benefit from it, that it's just like, there's no way that this wasn't God. But I also know my prayer and I know the situation and the setup beforehand to know that was a part of it. So I would 1,000 times, and that in itself, that situation, not the TV show moment, but how it all played out completely like strengthened my faith. Now I'm not going to say I've been perfect and immediately after I was like, no, go right back to like doing life just like that. But no, when things get hard, it does remind me that there is another way. Right. There's a chance that some stuff can change and can happen really fast. Like another reality can exist for you and you've experienced the power of that. So like, but it is a sacrifice.
Absolutely.
It is.
Did you feel like through maybe how it was portrayed on screen to the viewers and stuff, after, how was your love life? Like, did you feel like some of the show affected your love life after? Not that it's my business, but you don't have to go in specifics. But does that make sense, what I'm saying? Like,
did it?
Do you feel like it changed certain ways people perceived you? Did people actually remember who you are from the show in terms of connecting with others to actually find somebody that you might want to be with, really? Or
that never really like got in the way of things in that aspect. If anything, funny enough, like I feel like the people that like I've dated since, like they've never really watched the show. And thankfully I think my read was very much my read of me. So like people genuinely got to connect with me. I wasn't being a character. And you got to see like I was really genuinely like a good person.
Right.
But I think the people who I've dated, they've gotten to just experience me and know that like I'm a good person. So like I have not sat and watched the show with them. They haven't, of my knowledge and like of conversations, have never like watched it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so they know it's something that I've done. They're like, oh, cool. All right.
Nice.
And then, I mean, you meet different people because of like that, like different industries, and it does open up your world in certain ways. But like other than that, thankfully that hasn't been an issue. I will say like relationally that hasn't been an issue. I will say when I was returning back to campus, because all this happened while I was still in college. I was a junior.
Wow.
Going into my senior year.
Gotcha.
So when I went back to school, that was when I started to kind of experience like moments where there are people who would like, it felt like they didn't like know me for real. And it was weird because it was like, you know me, you know I'm this goofy person, you know so when I was still being goofy and doing this, they're like, oh, why is she being weird? And I was like, being weird, if this is weird, I've been weird.
So literally who you were.
This is who I was before. You know I was doing the worm, girl. You know I was doing all this stuff. Like, you know I do this, or I say these jokes, or I do these things. I'm confused on who you thought I was.
Right. But the hats off to you. You went back and finished school.
Oh, for sure.
Excellent.
Because like that's season 1. You don't know what's gonna happen,
Exactly.
and that would have been crazy for me to like throw away. And it was no point. Like, funny enough, I'm still where I've done so much now, and I'm grateful I went and got my degree, because I don't think I would have ended up where I'm at now if that wasn't the case. Because guess what? I did need that corporate job for a little bit. You know what I mean? To even get here. You know, like.
Because you also have to like, what they don't teach you throughout these experiences, I find, from my own experiences and people that I've talked to, is like how to, the post direction, shall we say, of like that, how to utilize this as a business, how to utilize yourself as a brand.
Yeah.
After, right? Unless you pay a manager to do this, or somebody presents you with a manager. And then how much, you have to learn about how much is the average commission that they should be taking out of me for helping me go forward in my future and promote my brand the best way, right? But from that, like, what did that whole experience teach you from the show? If you had to like summarize that, if it taught you something new.
I think it's like Maya Angelou quote, and she's like, I think she said her grandmother said like, you know right, Maya, just do right. Like, you know right. You know what's right for you. You know that feeling. Some people intuition, some people like the Holy Spirit, some people like you know when something feels aligned for you. Even sometimes, okay, let me not out here saying when it feels wrong. But like, you know when something's for you. And I also do believe like all the good things work out for those who love the Lord.
Amen.
So
Amen.
You know when something feels like, you know when it feels like it's supposed to happen. Like, there's certain feelings you do get. And remember that feeling. Because that wasn't the out, like, to get there was that. And that's the same, like, way up, the fall from grace was when I forgot that. And I was too busy looking at like, but that's working for them. But that, and being so scared of rejection, so scared. What are you scared of? The same thing I was scared of led to me, like, that led to the ultimate thing I was scared of, going home. Right. So stop being scared.
It's like also maybe for you too, like going through these experiences. I feel like there's levels of maturity that we have to go through as children of God, right? If we choose to follow God, He's like, okay, I'll give you this word as a standard to live by, as a guidance, so that you don't make mistakes that all these people in the Bible did, right? Through these different eras, right? And we're in this era now. And I feel like we go through these experiences for Him to take us to the next stage in our relationship with Him and in the Word. But when we get those feelings and those moments, those times we read those devotionals and we read the Word of God, that's like His voice in us again, just reminding us, hey, you know this about the Word, right? And now you're having that feeling based of conviction maybe at that time because of the Word, right? But then He's like, okay, I gave you this. Now let's mature you and let's go to the next stage in your journey of faith. Does that kind of reflect in the same way for you, for that experience?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still actively like growing in my like faith. I don't want to say I'm like the perfect model of anything.
No
right
one
now.
is.
Nah,
No
I'm
one
not.
is.
I'm not. And there's still things I'm working on, but I'll say like I am being very genuine in my experience of and me like trying to experience God more, and it makes me think of like I was doing a devotional, and it was either a devotional or some type of like a random scripture thing I did, and I remember thinking a thought in my head. I was like, I'm not even like being heard for real. Like, or I was like, do you even actually hear what I'm saying? Because they're like, oh, do you even hear me when I'm really talking? Because I got this situation happening right now. And then I had looked down, and like the scripture was like, some of the scripture was just like, yes, I hear you when you're talking or something like that. And then it was like, but something of like, it hears your heart or whatever. I was like, okay, this is getting weird. And then I put the thing down, and I was like, and I said something else in my head, and then it answered what I was thinking of, just right. Like, but it actually like it was related to, but of like, I guess something to do with like your heart, like genuineness of your heart, of when you're saying, yeah, like of what you mean, of how you're approaching it, like, right. And I was like, oh wow, like this is literally responding back to me.
Amen. Because the word is like, I find it's timeless, right?
Yeah,
it's eternal. You know,
yeah, because sometimes you open the Bible and it's just like, and then there were loaves, and you're like, that's not related to what I'm saying exactly. At all. But that was a weird situation where I was like, oh,
which he can do.
These are thoughts, and these are the actual verbatim, actual responses to things that I'm thinking. Where I was like, oh, something is going on. So it's like like I said, I'm still like learning.
Absolutely.
And that happened before, and even that I'd be lying if I said like, oh, that happened. So then my entire life like picked up, and I was like, back on track. Actually, no, I didn't. Things like fell apart again, and I was back in the space like, what now? And then knowing that like, okay, this is what you did before, but yet in the midst of knowing what you did before, it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy to like go back into that kind of space of right. So like still struggling until you know. So it's I'm still now like kind of like rediscovering and really like building that relationship, because I think it was just kind of like at that time, I wouldn't say like a Hail Mary, but like I need something.
Exactly.
And this time it's more of like okay, let's really like, something's going on, and let's really like explore this and really like genuinely build that relationship, and like to say like, you know, God, like I know what I experienced, to say that I know he's real and that something happens.
Absolutely.
But then it's also different to be like, okay, because there's some people who say like, oh no, like that's my friend. And some of them, those people can either be super like religious, and then there's some people who like may not be the most religious, but you can't tell me that they're not blessed. Like I can see it on them, I can feel it on them, you know?
Yeah,
and those are the people who I do believe for real have a relationship and have a connection. I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to get towards righteousness at all. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I'm just saying like, I want to actually like build the relationship.
Well, it's funny you say that, because actually, you know, the Bible does tell us to strive for righteousness. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, but you know, when God looks at, when God gives favor upon his children and stuff, you know, he looks for the hearts of those who seek righteousness. Right? So I think it's good that we continue like to, as long as we strive for his righteousness and according to his word, of course, and trying to stay spiritually integral in the industry that we're in, and whether it's entertainment, medical field, law field, and whatever field it is, you know, keeping that spiritual integrity. Is that something, how do you keep a balance with that actually in the industry that we're in, and staying spiritually integral? Like, what is something that you do on a daily basis or even a weekly basis that keeps you grounded in your faith in the industry that we're in? It could be as simple as the word and prayer, but honestly,
I feel like I do my devotionals, but honestly, to be honest, I just remember like my testimony.
Right.
That's like, how do you stay integral and things? Like, I don't think there's something that God can't give me. I literally watched him give me like something I couldn't imagine. Right. I'm crying over songs that at this point, looking back, them songs ain't even worth $3,000. I've made so much more music better than that. Like I was willing to give, you know what I'm saying? Like exactly I've seen him give me something when I like something to me that was like everything that was like in the grand scheme of things, like a little scrap, like 25 cents. And I'm like, and I've seen him literally. I remember sitting on my bed, something I still do from time to time. You ever pretend to do interviews that aren't happening? I
pretend to do all sorts of crazy things like that.
Okay, cool, right. Yeah. So like I've had interviews with Oprah. I've had interviews in my room.
Nice.
And I literally watched that being from something I did in my room in my free time when I was like 10 to 21 to 20, to my age now. And I'm like, I watched him literally in 6 months have me sitting in a bed in Fiji on the phone with Cosmopolitan.
Right.
Like it was nothing. And it felt like nothing because it was just a call, just like any other phone call. Like I remember the story. Like that's why the Love Island situation is important, because it reminds me of how crazy things could get if you're willing. So it keeps me integral in terms of like there's certain things I don't feel like I gotta do to make something happen. Like if I really ask and it's really in the will.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. And chances are it's gonna be better than I imagined, because I could have never imagined that. If you would have told me that would happen. If you would have told me that fast forward years later, the show was going to blow up as big as it did in the US, and that I could still benefit from that in the midst of everything also I'm doing on the back end where I'm building my career, like in scripted television and other things that I'm doing, where I'm also in a way I feel to some degree being kind of like hidden. Because in the midst of them talking about Love Island, they tend to kind of forget about season 1.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And I don't mind it, because I also feel like David sometimes. Like
it
back
literally was for a season.
Yes, literally a season. But there's something else. I genuinely feel like there's something else for me where that's why it'll be cute, like an Easter egg type of thing. Like, but I've seen him do it.
Right.
So I don't think I gotta be, or I've gotta lose myself again in order to have something that I could just ask for and I could prepare for.
Absolutely. And also we go through these experiences. Mm-hmm. God allows us to go through these to grow and become closer with him, but also to prepare you for the next chapter in your life, right?
Yeah.
So that process prepares you for the next chapter of your life. But God's like, okay, I'm giving you all these things. What are you giving me? Right? How can we possibly pay God back? That's what I often think. We can't, but we can with our time, right? What we can do is devote our time to him. I think creating that balance does help. Would you say as well? It's like, because we're always asking from him.
Yeah.
And when times are bad, we ask for his help, right? But it's like, I always think, okay, God, actually, what can I give you back? And I know time is one thing we can give back in terms of seeking him and understanding him. And we ask for his will. God, your will be done and stuff in my life. And he's like, okay, then you're going to have to go through this struggle, this little process here. But God, I don't want to go through that. And he's like, well, this is actually a part of the process in order for you to grow. Mm-hmm. And you might make the mistakes and you're going to learn, but then you're going to come back to my word, right? Mm-hmm. So that's his hope for us. And I hope that we always do that. But you also I saw you did a TV show as well.
Yeah.
Was it not CSI? It was
FBI.
FBI. That's a cool scene, by the way. I watched it.
You.
And how long ago was that?
That was last year.
It was last year.
I think, yeah, it came out last year, October.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a pretty awesome spot.
Yeah.
And how many days of filming was that?
1 day.
FBI, guys, you can look it up. FBI.
Yeah.
Season, I'm not sure. What season was that?
I think
remember?
Season 3.
Season 3.
I think. I should know these things.
Season 3. And I know some guy was talking to you in the street.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact storyline behind that episode, but I just saw, how was that experience, by the way?
It was great. Like, I thought the set was awesome. That was like my first like scripted TV show that I did.
Nice.
And I thought it was great. I enjoyed the people that I was on set with. It was freezing cold, even though it looked like we were outside in the summer. I think we shot that in the... Was it? Oh no, it wasn't the winter, but it was cold. It was like 60 degrees outside, and I was in like the shorts and the little top walking. I was like, oh my gosh. We had like the heaters in our hands, and it was crazy. But everyone was so nice. Even the person that I work with, we're still cool. Like we'll still meet up and be like, hey, how you doing? How you been? Like it definitely helped me build my community and like my community in the entertainment world and experiences and stuff like that. Awesome. So it was cool. And it showed me, it also, because I remember I also used to do like background work. And when I got into background work, because it was like, I want to know what it's like to really be on a set.
That's good homework.
Yeah, so I was like, let me try. And this is before like I was like working with anyone. So I'm like, let me try this. And I remember seeing the actors and the actresses, and it's just funny to see how like fast forward things can change. And it's also like when I was also seeing other people doing background work, and I was like, I remember that. I remember doing that. And I remember thinking like, oh, like they're just going to find you in the back and be like, yeah, girl. And not knowing that like there's a process for everything.
There is. And that can happen.
It can. Yeah, I don't want to say that it can't happen. It can. It can happen. But you know what I mean? It's just you learn so much more. Your awareness is just different.
Absolutely.
But you also have respect for everything that's going on around you, because I was background too.
That's right.
So I know what it's like where you're sitting in a room, it's one big room and it's mad people and it's the folding chairs and you know what I'm saying?
And you get the peanut butter and the 2 slices of bread and some cheese.
And you're just there.
And it humbles you, doesn't it?
Literally. So it's also to have respect for the people that I'm around.
Absolutely.
And to appreciate everybody that's there, and also like show respect obviously to the people that you work with, but also the people who are there to make the scene come alive too. Because what if we're walking on an empty street? And also, I know the same way I'm freezing cold, they're not coming up to you with a jacket, giving you hand warmers. Right. I'm sorry that you got to be out here in the cold too. So just having a different respect for the space you're in, and it makes you appreciate where you're at, what you're doing, and what's happening around you more.
Absolutely. I even did, some background stuff is really good actually.
Yeah.
At the time, they pay pretty good these days.
Some are good.
Of course, it's like you don't want to get trapped in staying in it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Depending where you want to go in your career, right?
Right.
But I do find it does humble you, and you have to kind of weigh out. Okay, if I keep doing this, am I going to get trapped in that space? Mm-hmm. Right. And then if certain casting directors or producers and crews keep seeing you in that environment, then they might just see you there, right? And if you want to grow, that is, if you want to go to the next stage. But so what's where you're at now, going through all these experiences? You've got great education. You went through Love Island. You've been on FBI, and you're still acting. We had the pleasure of working together on set, and I hope it happens again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I hope it happens again. So, but. Now, where's your direction now? What's next for Alana?
What's next? Yeah. I'm making music. Well, I mean, I make music.
Yeah.
I'm making music. So I'm obviously working on a project, making videos. I also like on the side, I like to write scripts. So I'm working on a script that I actually started like 10 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And I'm
Feature
adding
film?
No. It's a comedy, like comedy shorts.
Okay.
Like little only like 10-minute episodes, like
nice
episodics. And also on the side, like I practice like some stand-up comedy.
Oh, really?
I do.
Let me know if you do a show.
I will.
And and then put it on your socials as well, of course.
Yeah, I'm practicing now, so I do like little open mics.
That's one of the bravest things.
But I do it. The reason I even like got into it was because I feel like when you're standing up there with a mic, you have to at some point not care whether they laugh, cry, boo, you stink. And I need to...
You smell like hamster.
Yeah, right. I can't... You have to be able to not care. And I feel like that level of like, it'll help build like a level of like courage or like fearlessness that I want to take with me when I perform on stage and perform my music.
Absolutely.
So I was using it as that, as well as like acting. Like sometimes I get out of being really present when I'm acting, because then I get conscious of like, but am I doing it right? Am I...
Right.
but like,
cruise here.
Right.
Person,
And I want to be able to not care. Like, I want to just be able to be so immersed in what I'm doing. I could care less whether like someone thinks is right or wrong. I'm just doing what I got to do. And I feel like it's a muscle. So I'm finding like different ways to train that muscle. Like if you want to work on your bicep, you can, you could do the hamstring. I'll be in the gym, but the bicep curls. But I do what I'm doing. Not the hamstrings, the back leg. Yeah, the bicep curls, right? But then you can also do the machine where you're working on like your lats. But like you'll see the machine to show you like this part lights up too. Like they'll show like the color. This will color, but like also your back will. So you can do different things to work the muscle. So I'm using comedy to work my other muscles.
Nice. And they all intertwine.
Yeah.
Like the music, the acting, it all helps each other out because it's all entertainment. It's all artistry, should we say?
Yeah.
In some sense.
And I'm a creative. I've always been since I was little. Like this is nothing new. I'm literally living the dreams of my 10-year-old self. I was in 5th grade, created my own website. And would like rip up pieces of paper and put the website and hand it to kids in 5th grade, and watch my show, like my web show, and have kids like tune in. Crazy enough, when I did the show, I did a music show. I was doing like the Next Thing Out tour. I had friends from 5th grade, from middle school, came to the show. My last show I did. Back in New Haven at Cedar Park, and I'm like performing in the audience, and I look out, and I'm like,
full circle.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, what? Yeah. But they also, I never forget, they were also who would watch when I did like WW. It was. I was trying to be like iCarly, so it was Alana. It was lack of originality, but it was a funny thing I was doing, so they liked it. But but I remember when you'd watch Alana. I remember. Like, just like this, like it was yesterday. And now you're here. So you know how long I've been doing this. You know how long I've been going. And, like, I wouldn't do it over all again. I think there's some things I would change, like invest in Bitcoin. But, like, outside of that, like, there's honestly the journey of all of it. For some reason, I kind of wouldn't change it.
Good. And I think, it's not good to always live in a life of regrets, of course. These things that we can learn from these processes. What would you say to the young Alana today? If you could look back on yourself, what advice would you give her?
I would tell her, on top of, invest in Bitcoin, I would tell her to like, you can do it. Like you did it. Like you're like, to be confident. There were periods of time, like I look back, I wouldn't change the journey, but I wish I changed how I felt while I was doing it. I've done a lot of things and also felt very crappy inside while I was doing it. And not that like what I was doing was wrong, but I just didn't have the confidence. And yet outwardly people look at it and be like, oh my gosh, she's so confident. But like I wasn't. And as I'm growing into myself, and now I think I'm in a very different space. So I'm confident in myself and what I'm doing, but I do look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish there's so many moments that like that was your moment and you were like so busy worried about the next thing, worried about the next person, worried about whether this person was accepting you or not, that you were literally in the moment that you asked for and you couldn't fully feel it. It's like touching glass. Mm-hmm. You're touching glass when you're supposed to like touch their hands and connect with them. Like I couldn't feel it. Like I was right there and I couldn't feel it. And I have too many moments like that because I wasn't allowing myself to really just be there. I was too busy worried. Be
in the moment.
Yeah.
So what you just gave to yourself, that's for you now.
Yeah.
Right? That's for you now. Alana, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
To have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I really hope we get to work together.
Yes, I hope so.
I've got a little gift for you, actually.
Not a gift.
Yeah,
I love gifts.
This is obviously my my Faith Star merch.
But
and I think we live in a world where there's a lot of craziness going on, right? Mm-hmm. And I just think if we can just establish world peace, then from that we can go further, right? and we can also live in the same hope as each other. So I like to it's just Faith Star merch, and I like to promote world peace. So I just thought I'd give you one. So we can be twins. Not really, but yeah, hopefully it fits.
Yeah.
That's for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to put it on now, and I hope the size fits you as well.
No, I like sweatshirts.
Like
I have a bunch of hoodies.
You call these sweatshirts? Or you call them hoodie? You just call it hoodie?
I call sweatshirt, sweatpants. I've used words interchangeably. Notice I said hamstrings when I meant my bicep. Like, you know what I mean.
But yeah, that's the least I can do. And
thank you.
I just wish you all the best. And where can people find you, by the way, if you want to look on your socials?
Yes, if you like to find me on social media, I am simply with 2 Y's _ Alana, SIMPLYY _ ALANA. That is simply _ Alana. And you can find me on music platforms as just Alana.
There you go, guys. Awesome. I'll put your details in the bio as well on the video.
Thank you.
And thank you to Entity Studios for allowing us to have this space to actually tell our stories. And hopefully, guys, you enjoyed the show and you can learn from things that we went through that you don't have to go through, right? Please write in the comments to see, things that you want to see, things that you don't want to see. And if you like it, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscription button. But until then, we'll see you on the next show.
See ya.
See you later.
Bye.